ancient acne scars. He had thinning sandy hair and a neatly trimmed mustache. He was dressed in a light brown deputy sheriff's uniform. The gold star gleamed on his right breast pocket. There was a rectangular gold name badge over the other pocket. Sanders could make out the raised black lettering against the gold background. T. Buckthorn. "He's got to pay for the stuff all at once," Allison complained to the deputy. "I'm thirsty," Sanders said. "I want to drink my drink while I fill the tank. I don't know why this is—" "Tell you what, Allison," the deputy said. "I'll walk out and keep an eye on him. I'll make sure he doesn't drive off without paying, okay?" "Well," the girl said doubtfully. People had begun lining up behind Sanders, and the way they were shuffling their feet and looking annoyed decided the question. "Okay," she said, giving Sanders a look of smoldering disgust as she rang him up. Buckthorn was right behind Sanders as he walked out to his truck. It was a Ford F-250, brand new. Sanders got a new truck every year. He worried sometimes that maybe it was too conspicuous, but it was the one luxury he allowed himself. In another time and place, he had ridden a motorcycle, but pickups helped him blend into the landscape these days. Plus, the road he lived on tended to get tricky in bad weather, the kind of tricky that called for four-wheel drive. Sanders popped the top on the Mountain Dew can with one hand while he took the gas nozzle off the hook of the pump. As he started pumping the gas, the deputy leaned against the metal light pole between the two banks of pumps. He took a toothpick out of the pocket of his uniform shirt and stuck it in his mouth. Sanders didn't look directly at him, but in his peripheral vision he could see the man watching him. "Allison's a sweet girl," Buckthorn said to Sanders. "She just doesn't want Jeff, that's the owner, to get mad at her. He's kind of particular about how he wants things done." "Uh-huh," Sanders said. "See, I know Allison. I know her family. I try to know everybody around here." "I'm sure they appreciate that," Sanders said. The deputy scanned him for a few moments, looking for sarcasm. "Thing is, Mr. Sanders, I don't know you, and what bothers me is that I can't seem to find out anything about you. Beth Ann at the Pine Lake Realty says you pay your rent on the old Jacobs farm in cash every month. You don't see that much. And you don't seem to have a job, so I'm figuring you're pretty well off." "I have a trust fund," Sanders said. "My uncle died and left it to me." "Lucky you," Buckthorn said. "But then, like you said back there, you don't have any credit cards. It's kind of odd, don't you think?" There was a clunk as the gasoline reached the level of the nozzle and it shut off. Sanders pulled the nozzle from the intake and set it back in its niche on the pump. "You do keep pretty well informed. Some folks might call that invasion of privacy." Buckthorn shifted the toothpick to the other side of his mouth and smiled. "I call it good community policing. So do most of the folks around here. They don't mind me checking up. Makes them feel safer. Of course, they've got nothing to hide." "You got something to hide, Mr. Sanders?" Sanders began walking back toward the store. He saw the girl's pale face staring at him through the glass of the front window. It showed the most interest he had seen in her face yet. He heard Buckthorn's footsteps behind him as he reached the door. He stopped and turned. "What do you want, deputy?" Buckthorn stopped and crossed his arms across his chest. "I want to know who you really are, Mr. Sanders. I want to know why you're here." Sanders turned back to the door. "I'm here because I like peace and quiet," he said. He took hold of the door handle and looked steadily at the deputy. Buckthorn uncrossed his arms. "Well, then, we should get along okay," he said. "I like that, too. Have a good evening, Mr. Sanders." He flicked the toothpick into the nearby trash receptacle and walked off toward his cruiser parked at the edge of the concrete lot. Sanders took a deep breath and went inside. He tried to ignore the girl's stare as he paid for the gas. He felt her eyes on his back as he walked to the truck. The deputy's car was pulling out as Sanders got behind the wheel. He started his own vehicle and pulled out behind, careful to keep below the posted speed limit. The little store was located on a country road a few miles outside of town. He pulled up to the stop sign at a crossroads. Straight would take him onto Main Street in the little town of Pine Lake. The left turn took him out the long two-lane country road to his house. The deputy's car pulled away, going straight toward town.